Welcome everyone, we are live again in the stream, doing a new tier list for Season 8 patch. I'm gonna need a lot of help this time I think, because there's plenty of changes, I might not remember all of them. Here we do see the last tier list of Season 7 and we will try to adjust the units that feel different now in my eyes and in the eyes of the viewers at the moment in the stream. And the first one I already see you can let the S tier units, which I kinda agree. I'm just a little bit unsure about the Deep Coiler, because Deep Coiler has so many counters now in the early game, but obviously in the later game it is still insane, and as well the wave changes kinda harm Deep Coiler, because you kinda have to increase the difference between your tanks and the Deep Coilers to snipe units now on ranged waves. So I'm a little bit unsure about the Deep Coiler, if it's actually still like lowest S tier unit, or if we should rather put it in best A tier unit. That is like my only thing I'm unsure about, and I would really like to hear more of your opinions about it. I probably would tend towards putting it down to A, and that's what I'm doing now, but I will have an eye on the chat and see if you guys disagree with it. Next one we do have Aqua. We had huge buffs, huge nerfs to Fire Elemental, especially in the early game. Not only because of the damage nerf, but also about Mole buff, Hermit buff, Wave 8 buff. That's a lot of buffs that have an impact on Aqua's build, especially Fire Aqua. The base unit was buffed a little bit, but I feel it is really weak. We discussed this already before in the game. I would actually put it in B tier. I got convinced to just put it at lowest A, something like this, because it obviously is still very, very good. Next time we have Asaria. I think Asaria is still an A tier unit. If you have the right role with it, go with it. Same as Boa, same as Firelord, really good. Halo, still a very nice unit, but you somehow get into a rhythm, like nerfing Halo, nerfing Halo, nerfing Halo the last few patches over and over and over again. And you can feel already that it's a lot weaker than it used to be. So I would actually put it towards the Aqua and let it join the lowest A rank. And there we have Berserker, which is still a better unit than the Halo now, I would say. You just have this insane tank value from the Berserker in the early game. Swift armor is just the best you can have. It has some nice DPS for the first few waves, plus it can kill the boss or the Rockos on 5 and 6. It's not 100% trash on 10. So it's a very nice early game tank. Actually the best early game tank you can have in my eyes. So still a very nice unit. Same as Mudman. Mudman is just love. Great unit. And here, my first, actually second heartbreak after Aqua is Varks. Varks feel weak as fuck. Just had some brain lag just now. Holy shit. They feel weak as fuck. I just checked my stats. All Aqua, all Varks, so the Vark itself, the Lioness and the Alpha Male, below 50% win rate. By my total win rate is 65%. So I do personally not see any reason to keep it in A. And we have to go for the move and put it somewhere in B. Let's just put it in the middle of B. I really feel hardcore sad about this. I'm really disgusted by this change actually. You can say disgusted, because Varks, they didn't do harm anyone, but now they're here. Bazooka. Zeus got some changes, Pyro got some changes, but Pyro's buffs are actually not really relevant because of the ranged waves. Zeus is a little bit better now in the mid game. It feels weaker in the early and late game to me. But the Bazooka itself got buffed, so overall I would just leave it in this position. We had some heavy nerfs to the Oathbreaker damage and HP, so I personally would put it as well down somewhere into B tier. The others feel kind of same. We actually had some nice buffs to the Starcaller. Infiltrator got nerfed as well, so we gotta put it more towards those units, but it's just so strong. If you can position it right, you can snipe out units. You have this extra sort of burst. It is a swift tank, so good in the early game. overall still one of the best arcane damage dealers and my favorite arcane damage dealer in the game. I'm a little bit unsure about APS. APS got nerfed once again, but with the new Zeus, it might be a little bit more interesting to use it, especially the new Rangers really are in my head to be a very good unit now with the APS together, so I'm gonna leave it at this spot for now, even though there were nerfs on it. Arcane damage dealer? I meant magic damage dealer, obviously. If we do have a look down there, please guys help me out if I forget a unit that got massively changed. But first is the Butcher. Butcher nerfs are insanely strong, especially Head Chef. Head Chef feels really strong to me now, and I personally would like to put it into the A tier now. Obviously we can't put it that high into the A tier, so we somehow have to put it in here, in front of Aqua and Halo, that I consider the weakest A tier units right now. The other units, did Elite Archers actually get buffed? I'm unsure, but I got told that they feel really strong now. I don't remember them getting buffed though, so maybe somebody can tell me. Gates got a super small buff, but that won't change anything in their positioning. The other units, Nikomata, super small buff, but yeah, I feel like it still has its place in B tier. We do get Tempest, which is really strong now, especially for wave 12. You can have Flying Force, which is Tempest Violet, very strong. So I actually got told to put it in A tier, and I feel I'm fine with it. Okay, multiple people tell me again Elite Archer is very strong, so I'm gonna let it join the Tempest. I played it a few times only, but I'm not the most Elite Archer player out there. So I only play them if I have a very good setup, but my win rate with them at the moment is very high, so I can only support those opinions, at least with my win rate. We had some Doomsday buffs again, so I would say they get some up ranks within B tier. They got a lot more HP back because they got over nerfed when AoE was very strong 1 season ago. Now they're getting some HP back to make them playable again. Next on my list is gonna be the Ranger. Finally, Ranger feels like some units, especially the Daphne feels very strong. Ranger itself still feels like meh, alright. You probably don't want to build it unless you need it for wave 4, for example with the Zeus together. But the Daphnes really feel nice, so I personally would like to put them up in B tier. They feel really fine. If I remember right, all the other units did not get changed besides the Honeyflower that actually got a buff. But since Honeyflower is now super weak, not only against the new Hermit, a lot of attack speed buff, the new Mole, damage reduction buff, Pack Leader got buffed, Ranged Waves got buffed, which is a huge counter to Honeyflower. It's D tier now. Honeyflower, D tier, changed my mind, but it's the worst unit in the game at the moment. Very, very close to it is probably Pyro. But I would not recommend playing Honeyflower at the moment. Only like if you do have nothing else to start with, maybe Honeyflower might be okay, but even then, minus FF sounds like a better solution. All the other units seem to be in a good place here. Next on we have Wild Shroom, Canopy. Yeah, they're getting better and better, but they're exactly in between C and B, I would say. It's just too vulnerable against brutes that got huge buffs. Canopy still in the early game is not that strong, especially on 3 where you would think of, okay, it's a good opener. It's not really. So I personally feel like we leave it in C tier. The Canopy is actually playable right now, but brutes are just insane. Next on we do have the Rats. Rats got small buffs on the Pack Rat, but are still the worst tier 1 in my eyes, apart from the fact that you can spam them for 10 gold. Alright. Last but not least, we have the Harbinger and Gateguard. in C tier. They did get some small buffs, if I remember right as well. But to me, they still feel very weak. They are a early game unit at most. And yeah, if you don't have the perfect setup for it, they are super weak because you just do not get the value you need out of them. So personally, still for me, a C tier unit. And the last unit we didn't discuss yet is the Harpies. We had some major buffs to Sky Queens, which really surprised me because usually buffs in Legion are like 0.001 attack speed, or you get 0.01 attack damage, something like that. But Sky Queens actually got 3 attack damage if I remember right, maybe it was 4. So you kinda have to put them a lot up, and which is B tier in my eyes. I think Harpies with a decent setup can be very strong. I played them a lot already, especially Harpy Boa now feels very good. I always said that Normed is the worst Legion, and I probably still think in competitive play Normed is the worst Legion, just because your early game is a little bit bumpy, but it gets into a spot slowly where it's not that bad anymore. Especially the synergy between Boar and Harpy seems to be very good. I played it multiple times already. I've played Boar opener actually already and into Harpies, and it worked out pretty well. I just played my last game with Sky Queens, shifted on 6 and played Boar then. So it feels like a unit that has some synergies that are really strong, which means it's gonna be somewhere in the middle of B tier. No exact position, but we have to have a look at it and just see how it develops. It got buffed itself, it got buffed with Starcaller because Starcaller and Magician got buffed, and it got buffed with Steed. So there's only major buffs on the Sky Queen this patch, which I really like because the unit design of Harpy is insane. Alright, I think that's it, and let me know if there's anything you would change, guys. Let me know in the comments. And if you disagree with it, just let me know what you disagree with, because last video, like, we had some specialist who told me he's disagreeing with all of it. Thanks a lot. I hope you have good luck in your ranked games. And yeah, enjoy. Bye bye.